Hey guys, so I want to make a mini theory. This is not really a big theory, but this is something that's been going around, and I don't think this guy's an actual jerk. So, if you click the video, you saw the 3 names, and you're wondering why I don't think this guy's a real jerk. So, let's begin this theory, or I should say this mini theory. Let's begin. Also, I'll keep this thing PG-13, so I might cuss a little bit though. So if you're not comfortable with cussing, you could click the back button right now, just letting you know. Blue, green, Gary, whatever name you want to go with. Is he really a jerk? Not really, and here's why. So, Green, who is basically one of the most obnoxious characters that you ever came across when you first came around Pokemon. And you know, you hated him so much because he's always being so rude to your face. He was so cocky. He was just so nasty, like any kid will actually deal with. And the other thing is though is that both you, which is known as Red, and Green were only 10 years old. So this behavior was actually fine. This is basically perfectly behavior for 10-year-old kids around there. And yes, I do understand that Fire Red and Leaf Green made them a little bit more older, but in the original, they were just little children. And Professor Oak did mention that you guys were only little kids and it had a strong rivalry ever since. So this is basically a frenemy rivalry, which is actually did shown a couple times in the actual games and the actual Pokemon Origins anime, where clearly Green still actually treats Red like a friend, but still wants to be better him as a rival. He says, "Smells you later, my Pokédex, my Pokemon will be better than yours, I will overachieve you, I'll get more badges, I'll be better than you in many ways." He gives you motivation to show this punk that you are basically better than this guy. Sounds right, you're playing with fire. It is normal for a 10-year-old boy to do that around there. But when you get older, it seems not really that well because, you know, kids will develop emotions later on. But Green actually learned this in a very hard way due to his behavior, but it doesn't make him sound like a bad person. Sounds kind of weird, right? Well, he deserved it, right? He deserved doing these things in my face. He actually deserved all this thing to happen to him. Well, let's talk about another rival that I do feel sympathy as well. Silver. Silver is actually Giovanni's son, which is actually confirmed in the Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver event. So, why I'm comparing this guy right here? Well, here's the thing. The events actually happened in the first generation. So, Giovanni is actually having a talk with his son Silver, where they're actually saying what's wrong with him, why does Giovanni wants to depart from everybody, why he wants to hide from everyone, and why he's going to follow these lousy little things that Silver does not like. Which you mean, Pokemon should be trained to the strongest, power is everything, which is the same thing Giovanni did back in first generation. Which Giovanni said that to get true power, you need to actually train your Pokemon with love and caring. You're just a little kid. Once you actually realize it, you understand what do I mean. Which he did the same thing with Red, except the complete opposite, that he did the same thing, love and caring your Pokemon. But you're just a kid. Once you realize true power is, you will understand. Which means Giovanni did the same thing to his Pokemon when he was only younger, until power has corrupted him and called himself the world's strongest Pokemon trainer. So, later on that he departs his son, he abandons him completely, and Silver just gets so frustrated, which gets him very emotional, which he witnesses you seeing that actual tragic event, and he runs off. Which means Silver took the path of Giovanni had started, which he stole from Pokemon, which he stole a starter, whatever was left in the Pokemon's laboratory, and you get to face him. And he only cares about power, and power, until later on that loving and caring his Pokemon is one of the only true strengths he can achieve. Which means he learned from the hard way. It makes you sound like a hero, right? It does. But let's go back to first generation. Green get what he deserved for all those cocky attitude, all that pushover, all that face shoving things. And you know, he sounds right. He deserves it, right? No. It gets even worse, because once you defeated him, his own grandfather, Professor Oak, comes around and scolds the living crap out of him, saying that the reason why Red has won because he loved and cared his Pokemon. The same teachings of Giovanni has passed on. Which later on he said that you only thought of your Pokemon with just power, nothing else. I am very ashamed of you, Gary. I am very disappointed of you. Which later on he just abandons him, goes with Red, pulls the Pokemon Hall of Fame, and that is it. Green gets so frustrated he holds a strong grudge, which is actually announced 3 years later in the Johto games, which is Silver and Golden Crystal. In Cinnabar Island Ruins, you will get to meet him again, and he says this: "Oh, hi, I'm Green. I was a Pokemon champion for a while until that pesky meddling Red." And then he changed the subject and saying he's not in the mood right now because due to the actual events of Cinnabar Island, and the only highest position he received was the 8th gym leader in the Kanto region, which you defeated him, and he actually accepts the defeat like natural gym leaders will do. Which later on you will come across Red in Mount Silver, and Mount Silver is just really strong, is heavy and around there, and you get to face Red for the final showdown and the end game boss. Once you defeat Red, Red just gets angrily, he runs out, and that is it. You won the game. You did the same thing on Red. You stripped away his Pokemon trainer or master title, defeated his strongest around here. Even he actually took care of love and caring. The power he actually achieved went through his head was the same way he actually took from Giovanni. And before everybody flips out that, no, what Green did this, no. Green only received 8th gym leader title. Later on, he actually follows the same teachings of Professor Oak did, which is actually mentioned in actual Pokemon Generation 6 X and Y, where a woman will tell you that, oh, the famous Professor Oak's grandson is here and Cal's doing some research. Which means Green followed the path of Professor Oak, while Red still gaining his humanity back to normal. Basically, you give him the slap to the face, what he had done to Giovanni, and it went back to him. Which is why I don't find Green, Blue, or Gary an actual jerk. But it is a theory, right? It is true or not, we never know. It's just a theory. I thank you very much for spending your time for this theory around here. I am sorry that I only focus the games only, but due to the fact of the manga, anime, and games are completely different, so I only focus the game only. Even I mentioned the anime a little bit in this theory. So that's all I'm gonna say. Also, one quick question for you guys: who is your favorite rival in the Pokemon game? So it could be Serena, it could be Silver, it could be Pearl, it could be Green, whoever it is. Who is your favorite rival? The next theory I will talk about is the path of corruption of Red. So if you like this video, you could click that subscribe button. You also could check out my other videos as well. Make sure you leave a like as well. It'll make Vaporeon very happy. Because come on, how could you resist this cute little face as well? And this is Zenith. Have a wonderful day and take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.